Hi, second graders. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd. It's Earth Day. So we have a couple fun little Earth things for you on the slideshow today. And one of them includes getting outside and doing a little scavenger hunt. So I hope you enjoy that. I enjoyed hearing that lots of you liked the story yesterday about the oil spill. And it was kind of fun. Some parents even remembered when that really happened. Today's story is another piece of text that's based off of something that really is happening. So it's similar in yesterday's book in that because something is happening, there are different effects. So once again, today we're going to be looking at cause and effect. Because something is happening, what is the effect of that? And then we're going to go today one step further and ask, why is it important? So you have a second assignment today besides the Google form. You are going to have a reading response sheet like this that you're going to fill out. And inside of this box, you are going to type what happened in the story that I'm about to read. In this box, you're going to write what caused it, or what's causing it. And then in this last box, this is a really important box. Why is it important? Why do we care about this? And I think you will see after we read today's book why it's so important. The title is Where Do Polar Bears Live? So today's story is about polar bears. Do you know where polar bears live? This island is covered with snow. No trees grow, nothing has green leaves. The land is white as far as you can see. Then something small and round and black pokes up out of the snow. Can you see what that is? A black nose sniffs the air. Then a smooth white head appears. A mother polar bear heaves herself out of her den. A cub scrambles after her. Remember from our story about animal babies? And a baby bear is a cub. When the cub was born 4 months ago, he was no bigger than a guinea pig. Blind and helpless, he snuggled in his mother's fur. He drank her milk and grew safe from the long Arctic winter. So this is an example of how mother keeps her baby safe by creating a safe home, right? A safe den. Outside the den, on some days, it was 50 degrees below zero. From October to February, the sun never rose. Very, very cold. But now it's spring, and even though snow still covers the land, the cub is about the size of a Cocker Spaniel. He's ready to leave the den. For the first time, he sees the bright sunlight and feels the wind ruffle his fur. The cub tumbles and slides down icy hills. His play makes him strong and teaches him to walk and run in the snow. Like his mother, the cub is built to survive in the Arctic. His white fur will grow to be 6 inches thick, longer than your hand. That's how long his fur is. The skin beneath the cub's fur is black. It soaks up the heat of the sun, and under the skin is a layer of fat. Like a snug blanket, this blubber keeps in the heat of the bears' bodies. And boys and girls, when I first read this story years and years ago, I learned that as a new fact, that underneath all of this white fur, their skin is actually a black color, and it helps absorb and keeps them warm. And then they have this blubber layer, which keeps them warm. Polar bears get too hot more easily than they get too cold. So they stretch out on the ice to cool off. Kind of a crazy thought, isn't it? The cub has never seen its father. He never will. Polar bear fathers don't take care of cubs. For 2 years or a little longer, that will be the mother's job. After a few days near the den, the mother leads her cub onto the frozen sea. Fur between the pads of their paws keep them from slipping on the ice. If the cub gets tired, the mother will give him a ride. Polar bears live in the Arctic around the North Pole. Some of the Arctic is land. There are cold, rocky islands and stretches of tundra where no trees grow. So this is a view of the top of the earth, and this is where the polar bears live. But a lot of the Arctic is ice. Now, second graders, this is where the whole cause and effect is starting, okay? So a lot of their Arctic land is ice. Under the ice, there is cold, dark water. Seals live here. So do the fish and shrimp and crabs that they eat. So once again, underneath that ice are all of the animals that the polar bears eat. Fish and shrimp and crabs spend their whole lives underwater. But seals have to come to the surface to breathe. They use the claws on their flippers to scrape away ice, making holes so they can reach the air. So they can make holes in this ice. You can probably see where this is going, right? At last, the bear smells the seal. She hooks it with her sharp claws and crushes its skull with her jaws. She drags it up onto the ice. The mother strips away the skin and the blubber. A little Arctic fox darts in to snatch a little mouthful of the meat. Now, second graders, I know that some of you are kind of sad that the polar bear ate the seal, but this is what they do, right? There is the circle of life, and this is what the bears eat. But now we're going to start to learn about the problem, right? Cause and effect. So now we're going to start learning about the problem. On land, a polar bear might catch a tiny lemming. It might even nibble grass or seaweed. But to survive, polar bears need to catch seals. To catch seals, they must hunt on the ice. Because remember, the seals are swimming underneath. So the stuff that they can find on the land, it might be a snack, but it's not enough to sustain them. They need seals. That is their primary source of food. But second graders, here is the problem, and I'm going to hold this page up a little closer while I read. Every summer, some of the ice around the Arctic melts. Every winter, it freezes again. But in the last 100 years, the Earth has gotten warmer. A little more ice melts each summer. Each winter, the water is slower to freeze back into ice. So over here, you could see in this first picture all of the ice. This is about 2007. This is 1980. This is 2007. Look how much smaller this area is than it was over here. The icy area is getting smaller because our Earth is getting warmer. When the ice melts earlier and the water freezes later, bears have less time to hunt. They don't eat many seals. And when scientists studied polar bears in Canada, they found that the bears weighed less than they once did. Thinner bears can't have as many cubs, and more of their cubs die before they can grow up to have babies of their own. So, boys and girls, because they are not catching as many seals, they're not as big as they once were, and they're not having as much success having cubs. And when they do have cubs, they're just not as healthy. All of this is because the ice is melting and they're not able to hunt the seals like they used to. If the Earth keeps getting warmer, the summer ice in the Arctic could melt completely by the time you grow up. That ice can keep getting smaller and smaller. This polar bear is fierce. It's a fierce, smart hunter, but he cannot survive without a place to hunt. Without ice, polar bears will become extinct, gone forever. If the ice doesn't stop shrinking, he may be the last polar bear. So, boys and girls, polar bears are in danger of becoming extinct because there is less ice in the Arctic and they have less area to hunt. That's a big problem. It's kind of interesting to read about why the world is getting warmer. I know that we have not had the cold winters like we used to have when I was growing up. The world is getting warmer. It is a big problem. And in the back of the book, there are some ideas of what we can do as kids to help prevent that. Little simple things will add up a lot. Just like yesterday, using less fuel, gasoline, natural gas, coal, and wood, using less of those will help. Recycling things, using paper for both sides, different kinds of light bulbs, air conditioners, heaters, different things like that. Second graders, that would be a really interesting thing for you to do a little bit of research on if you're interested on this Earth Day, is what can you do as a second grader in Carol Stream to help the world from getting too warm? Because believe it or not, that affects what's going on in the Arctic. And if we do not change the way we do things globally, polar bears just might become extinct. So, second graders, kind of thinking back to your sheet here, okay, what is the important thing that happened in this book? What caused it? So when we think about the polar bears, what is causing that? And why is this important? What could happen if we all don't pitch in and help out? Okay, so do your best today on this response. It's a cause and effect with a little bonus extra here. Why is it important? Why are we reading this on Earth Day? Why is this an important thing to learn about? So that is your extra classwork today, and that's going to be in your Google Classroom in the classwork page. Okay, second graders, have a wonderful Earth Day. Have fun on your scavenger hunt today. I'm curious to see what kinds of things you found. If you found anything really cool that you're like, wow, look at this, I think Mrs. Van Lanningham would love to see this, please send it to me. I love seeing the things that you're doing, and I enjoy seeing what you're learning. So have a great Earth Day, everybody. Take care.